they don't want to shift, it's because they can't really afford to shift, or the air conditioner is 10,000 pesos more expensive.
Mm.
So that's one of the main reasons, main like reason why people don't want to shift. It's really the price point. Yeah.
Well, that's maybe the answer for the next questions, but maybe you can give us another examples. But well, given the geographical vulnerability of the Philippines to natural disasters, especially, how does the accessibility of affordable and clean energy contribute to the country's resilience and ability to cope with climate-related challenges?
Okay, so right now we have had laws since 2010 about shifting towards like renewable sources of energy, and there have been like government projects to like only a few to address this, but most of our energy source, when we talk about the portfolio of supply, is still like coal or gas energy. um, but one of the things we are looking at is having, because when you talk about having solar farms, for example, we would have to either convert um, farmlands or forests into solar power. So one of the things that our group has been lobbying is having community solar panels, which is why one of the things we're also pushing for is financing, green financing options, so that each household can have a solar panel instead of clearing agricultural cultural farms or forests to make way for solar farms or windmills. So that's one thing. The second thing is the like, since we're near the equator, the Philippines is near the equator. We have a surplus of like solar energy, but right now only I think a few people have been actually studying and have had the time and finances to put solar um, in their respective like provinces or areas. But the good news is, compared to like, for example, 2 years ago, um, and now we have had like a lot of developments in terms of solar farms, because before, whenever I would go back to Manila, um, it would just be farms, and now we do see solar farms in our like highways, which is a new thing that had developed over the last 2 years. So there is a conscious effort to go to that. It's just that I think we need to also do our part, since for lot owners or property owners, to have access and to maybe connect to the grid, so that we can also contribute to giving renewable energy to communities. Because in the Philippines, we have a grid system where all the power from different energy sources all go to one grid, and that one grid distributes everything depending on the supply. So right now, the metering system, from what I understand, our energy partners, our electric distributors, are enforcing this. But the actual system, for them to collect the energy, the surplus from houses, is still in progress in terms of development, meaning there still needs to be like efficiency, and shouldn't just be on paper that um, yes, we're receiving solar power, because there's a like a puzzle that's missing, where how do we get the energy back to the grid, and how does the grid distribute this energy? So that system is still up there, we're still figuring it out. And right now, just having that conversation with both the government and the energy suppliers is very important.
Okay, so to connect with government and the suppliers are really important, you said. And so, what other partnerships or maybe collaboration do you believe are essential for scaling up these initiatives? Well, also, how can private sector work effectively, connect with local communities and government entities to achieve these goals?
Okay, so when we did the Uniplat pitch deck
Mhm.
early this, I think it was in August, right?
Yep. Right.
Yes. I think that's one thing that we can do, like having the option of private citizens or angel investors look at these projects and supporting it directly to the either the business owner, the entrepreneur, or the academe or the scientist. um, I think that's a very big innovation that we can do. Another thing would be having the opportunity to, like, for example, here in our province, it's really difficult to get engineers and specialists who are really into helping and innovating and making things efficient. So it's having that access to solutions provider that are really there to help you, not just to make quick money
Mhm.
from business owners, because a lot of the times, so some of the service providers that we have encountered would just install the solar power system, and then after that there's no aftercare sales, like what to do when, how to maintain it. We all know that solar panels are still, for example, for if I will be investing in maybe 150 or a $200 solar panel, I would like to take care of it so that it would expand its life. More than that, it's also the fact that I think there's not yet a system to actually recycle
Mm,
solar
yeah.
panels.
Yeah.
So there's also that we haven't figured out that yet as a community, as like a as people who would like to shift. So these are all in progress, and just like a decade before, um, it's still a work in progress for everyone. So I think Uniplat is a good platform for that. Number one, maybe there are other platforms that can do that. I've seen other programs that are into like startup, assisting startup to create a plan. But there's not a lot of available financing for smaller players. Usually, like the big foundations, they would have or they would require at least a 20 million peso 20 million peso like startup fund. And a lot
Mhm.
of times businesses like mine, we just need like not 20 million, we just need like 500,000 pesos. So imagine if that 20 million can be divided into 20 people. Wouldn't that make also a big difference than having one huge project? So that's one of the challenges that I would like to look into and maybe have partners to look into, because that's the one of the problems that we have here. We have a surplus of solar energy, but and we know that, but it's very hard to find support, financial support
Mhm.
to actually convert. So there.
Yeah, that's yeah, really understandable because, well, uh but we're still lucky that we live in the internet era
Yes.
where we can expose ourselves, right?
Yes.
It's maybe it becomes more easier for us, well, compared to our parents, for example, but it's still also still difficult to, you know, like exposing ourselves to the right entities,
Yes.
maybe who wants to support. Yeah, and yeah, that's why, well, Uniplat came in to answer that issues, to connect people so that we wish, like small enterprises or researcher in a rural area can expose their project and their research so the right people, the people who really concerned about that issue can support them. Are you also working on maybe in a marketing part, marketing, as should I say marketing, um working on social media to promote your project to more globally known?
So what I'm doing now is we've pushed, like, one of the reasons why the UPD pitch deck for the Philippines had a lot of Philippine participants was because we really pushed it on social media.
Yeah.
Sadly, I was doing juggling multiple projects that time, and I felt that um, like, since I was an ambassador and talking about it, I should, like, initially have participants who aren't in my uh, who isn't me to use the platform. But actually, for next year, we I do have like three projects that I would like to put into Uniplat. One of it is solar, and one of it is soil production using a Japanese fermentation method for food waste. And these two things are like things that I want to push also, because it also, besides energy, having solutions for food waste not going to the landfill is really important for us right now here in our area, because of the lack of public services in waste management in particular. So yes, I will be doing that more n- next year. For this year, I'm just happy that Uniplat actually launched in the Philippines, and we had, I think, about 20, like, more than 20 participants. A majority of which were from, like, public and senior high schools, for example. So that was very interesting.
Thank you very much for the insight you gave us and all the story you shared with us. And I hope your story can motivate others to, do something more, or at least increase their awareness towards their sustainability movement. Thank you, Tina, and good luck on your next project. I hope everything goes well for you.
Thank you, Vasista. And if ever you're in the Philippines, just come and join us. We did, like, I forgot to mention, we did release a magazine, like a print magazine,
Mhm.
where we have sustainability as one of the like main features that we have every volume that we release. So yeah, so there. I hope you can come here in the future,
Yay.
and
Cool.
we can work more, and definitely by next year we'll be more active in actually getting, like, fundraising for a lot of the projects.
Yeah,
Thank
sure. I'd
you.
love to. I never been to Philippines before.
You should. I, you're from Malaysia,
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Yes.
Okay, haven't been to Indonesia, and I would also want to visit your country in the future.
Yeah, you should come.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Tina.
Thank you,
I'll
Vasista.
see you. Bye.
Bye.